take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're flying.
It is January the 1st, and we're clearly not recording today on January the 1st, but nevertheless, we wish all of our listeners, new and seasoned, a very happy new year. I wish that you have a very happy, healthy, and safe 2024, and hope you rounded off 2023 with your loved ones and the ones you hold dear. Nevertheless, we're going to keep our rhythm and release an episode today on New Year's Day, and it's going to be sort of a look back, a look forward, and I've got a few questions for the three others here that they're not well prepared for and do not know what I'm going to ask. So, to start with, let's just skip the formalities and the pleasantries of asking how everyone's doing. You know, I'm sure we all have a good Christmas break, given that we're recording this before Christmas. But I wanted to start off with giving out some awards for the three of you.
Okay.
I thought we'd do some awards, and just to keep it, a quick light-hearted episode. We'll get into a few look-backs in a moment. But I firstly wanted to present an award to the person who consistently has tech issues when we are recording the podcast.
Why?
So for those who don't know, we have, of course, we produce, and we have a great producer who makes sure that our episodes are well polished. But what you don't see are behind the scenes of us getting together, getting online, and connectivity issues. So I'd like you all to vote. Vote. Wait, Pete, you fine with this, by the way?
Yeah, because it's not me. Let's vote.
Let's put this to vote.
So how I thought about this was, we often, agree a time when we're going to start recording, and this person is actually usually punctual. No question about their punctuality or making sure they are there on time.
Why are you describing me?
It's
supposed to be a vote. Why are you describing me?
No, because I'm giving some context.
Yeah, but you're describing me.
So do you think it's you?
It's so funny. How are you going to... Okay, continue.
Wait, just to make sure. Sean Olu, am I talking okay or am I making stuff up?
Yeah, crystal clear.
No, I think it's factual.
I'm curious to hear the next part.
Okay, cool. So this person consistently arrives on time, but hasn't done their sound testing, and therefore we have to start usually after the agreed time. So drum roll, please. I'll have Olu announce the winner, please. And the winner is
It's false. What I would say. So nice try, Daniel. I would say I held the record for that trophy, if you like, for quite a while. But I'd say as of recent, yourself and Olu are, if not, sort of in the mix. So it's you're at a very tight.
I would agree with you that as of late, I would agree.
You can't put my name there.
Up and down. I'd agree.
There's no
Olu.
There's no StreamYard.
Okay.
There's no StreamYard unless I said the email.
Okay,
unless I said the email half an hour.
Okay, why don't we? That's fine, but why don't we expand the category to not necessarily tech issues, but whose ability to start on time? Olu, you've been late on a number of occasions.
Like I said,
extremely late.
Like I made clear.
Sure.
You can't log on. You can't log on unless I send out the email.
Yeah, but you've sent. Yeah, there've been many times where you sent out the email from work, and you're early in the day, but you're still late, and that's actually even worse because you're the one that's actually sending the link out.
No.
But you've been
the reason why
I
just want to clarify one thing. The reason why I do that is because if I'm there, I'll still be waiting 10, 20 minutes for you to sort out your technical issues. So I expect to join later and it be ready, and it's still not. But yes, continue.
All right, fine. I'll take it. On average, it's me.
Thank you, Pete, for being so gracious in your acceptance of that award. The next award I'd like to present is the one podcast member who undoubtedly is, how do I say it? It's undoubtedly the one.
You better not be nice.
I can be what I want. It's my episode. Who is undoubtedly fantastic at securing interview hosts for this podcast.
Yeah, that's being nice.
This person goes above and beyond, will schedule in advance in everyone's calendar, find out when suitable, and give enough notice, has the agenda ready for the meeting, for the interview. And drum roll, please.
Disrespect.
Fabilo, please announce the winner.
Disrespect is real. The way these votes are voted. No. Go on.
The winner
is.
Go on, P, announce it. Announce it. Don't let the pride swallow your. Don't follow that pride. Say it. Shawel Ahmed.
Oh wow, guys, this is a big surprise. This is a big surprise. I appreciate it. But actually, can I just say, if I'm allowed a quick few words, thank you guys for having the flexibility for working around the schedules of our amazing guests. For the listeners that are listening to this episode, we've had some amazing interviews this year, which we call Take Flight Talks. So please make sure to check out those episodes in case you haven't done so already. And also, if I can, just a reminder, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe because we have some amazing interviews lined up for 2024 as well. So Daniel, thank you for the great words, but it really has been a collective effort, and we've got even bigger interviews for next year. So I hope you all, the listeners, will continue to tune in and support us. And if there are any people that you would like us to invite onto the podcast who you think would be a great guest, then please also do connect us on our Instagram page at Take Flight Podcast, or reach out to any of us individually. We're always looking to bring on exciting guests.
Thank you.
Oh, you should you should try to keep your acceptance speeches very short. It's a bit too long, extended. No, all jokes aside, I want to add, I think it's a great mention, and I think if you look back at interviews that we've held and we've discussed, we've worked on the line on, they've been incredible. So in all seriousness, yeah, sure, thank you for taking the time out in the background to align, reach out, and coordinate before the guests has even arrived onto the podcast. And we've thoroughly enjoyed them as well. Let's not to mention, not only for the listeners, but for us, we've learned a lot.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay,
guys.
my next award, it goes to a gentleman who is very consistent in their consistency when it comes to agendas.
What kind of award is that?
It's very inconsistent. Listen, relax, man, chill. You know, they send their agendas in advance of the episode, but what we've come to notice is that the structure and the way they send it can just be like a scrap note. Like taking multiple screenshots, trying to make you do the pieces together to find out what the agenda is, who's talking, and the alignment. I recall one person.
This episode is going left. This episode is going left. This episode is going left. No, the shots being fired is way too many.
Doesn't matter.
Continue. I'm ready though. I'm ready. Now I'm ready. I'm waking up.
I recall specifically that this person was in the area of Stevenage in a car park and just sent some sort of scrappy agenda. And all of us are like, what? So this award goes to the best put together agendas is, drum roll please, Joel, please announce the winner.
The winner is Olu Okanola.
Yeah. So now moving on, I wanted just to say something. So
I don't get an acceptance speech.
No,
these guys get acceptance speeches. I don't get what? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, okay. Let's hear it.
It won't be an acceptance speech. It'll be an explanation.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All I want to say is, all I would like to say is, I accept this. I accept this award. It was a very tough call. I think multiple people in the group were close to winning this award as well. But you know, someone's got to take it for the team, so I'll take this one. Thank you.
Wonderful. The great thing about all of these awards is I didn't actually choose any winners. All of you individually selected the winner. So it just shows who in your heart you think was the most accepting of each award.
I thought the last one was going to go to Pabilo. I was like, Stevenage, was it me? But,
yeah, that's true. Until you said Stevenage, I was actually thinking, is this guy giving me 2 awards on one night?
I thought you were getting back-to-back awards.
Yeah, I thought it was a disrespect. But Daniel, you can't get off as lightly. I think.
Feel free to think of an award for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let Shaw do the award because Shaw's gonna be nice to you. It's either between myself and Olu. We've got to decide what award that we give Daniel.
So I'd like to give the award to the person who has tried to leave the podcast on multiple occasions. I know a lot of the listeners haven't heard this, and you feel like everything is very harmonious and everything is very calm between the 4 of us. But there's one every 6 months throws a curveball and says, "This podcast won't exist without me."
Yes. What would you say? What would you say, Olu? It's about No, Daniel, chill out. We're still announcing the awards. I'd say it's the award.
And we don't know who's the winner yet. We don't know
who has the least amount of loyalty, unable to commit, indecisive, but still wants to be loved. You know, that all of that in one, I think. And so I think drum roll, please, and the winner of the award, Joel.
Every 6 months.
And the thing is, just quickly, also to mention, when you've made these announcements, Daniel, you've actually made it a very theatrical type of announcement. You've made us wait at the end of the podcast. So guys, can you? If you've got
I've done it once.
If you got 10 minutes, you've done it. I think you've actually left the podcast twice.
Minimum twice.
Do you have 10 minutes? We've all had to sort of plan our day around your announcement, and only for you to turn around after 72 hours and say, "I want to come back in."
I'm just saying.
It's a lot to do with this. It's like that spoiled child throws his bottles at the pram.
Can I just for the list,
she's gonna leave.
Just for the listeners though, just so we can make it official, and we can announce who actually won that award, because I'm sure they're sat on the edge of their seat thinking who has won the award. So P, would you mind just saying the award title again, and then we can confirm who has won it?
The award for the individual who has the least amount of loyalty.
I'll end this recording right now.
Unable to commit, very indecisive.
But
clearly has trust issues, but wants to be loved at the same time. Goes to
the winner is Daniel Johnson.
Round of applause.
Thank you.
But just for the listeners, though,
that was a good one.
Not to concern the listeners, but the last incident was probably a few years ago. But Daniel, do you have any words that you'd like to say?
He's staying for the only reason he's staying for the money.
It was back in March 2021. It was March 2021 when I quit.
It's a few years ago. It was a few years ago.
It's almost 3 years.
What can I just say? It still burns in our heart. It may have been 2-3 years ago. We still feel it. Because we're not sure as we start 2024. We're not sure if you're gonna throw a curveball in Q1.
Well, I won't let Olu have the mic because we know where his issues will be with. Olu's back is heavy right now. Again, then you can call that. But
no, keep that in. Keep that in. Come on, cut it out. Be carrying you guys.
No, but jokes aside, it's been great with working with all of you last couple of years, and I think it'll be remiss of us not to give an award to the best producer of the year, and that goes to the incredible Nandi for all the work she does behind the scenes. That with all of our mishaps and the bloopers, she has to edit and make it smooth.
Yep.
And we are undoubtedly grateful for all the work she does. So a huge round of applause for
reliable,
Nandi.
consistent, dishing out fines,
loyal as well. On time, punctual,
and she's making some good money as well, boy. She's wait. Can I just say, Nandi's made the most amount of money out of all of us. She's the only one making money.
Just so the listeners are aware, we have a timeline of when we have to give our producer the episodes, and if you're late on that time, if it's a personal episode, you are fined, and it's not a small fine, as some of us have found out. Me being one of those a couple of times. So yeah. I thought it'll be nicer just to be, start this episode with the lighthearted awards, but I thought we can just quickly go around and maybe just share a few things around the podcast of, for example, our favorite episode of the year. I know you haven't had time to prepare, but I didn't want you to give you time to prepare because I wanted you to think about what sticks out to you the most from this year of the episodes we've done. Maybe some sort of predictions for next year in any sector you're thinking about, whether that's the property, stock market, and also the surrounding off. What are you most looking forward to in 2024, whether it's from a professional side or personal development side? So I think I can start with this. And I always talk about the episode I enjoyed the most. And it's going to be a bit bad because I can't remember the episode itself. And I didn't want to try and find the episode because I didn't want to give the person who set up that agenda all the credit, so to speak. But if any of you remember, please do feel free. So early in the year, on Q3 this year, we changed the format of how we would structure episodes and the agenda format, etc. And we started off kind of everyone would have a talking point on to sort of research and talk about it. And I remember there was an episode where there was feedback given to me directly after saying, "No, you know what, I came across very well." And I said, "You know what, I actually enjoyed the episode because the way that the agenda was set up, it was very specific about what we had to do. And I just went to town with the research." And I think it might have been the Endivia one now that I'm thinking about it. And that probably was, from my point of view, not from a listener's point of view, but from a hosting point of view, my most enjoyable episode, because I felt that I was well equipped, well prepared. I knew what was going to be asked of me. I knew what I had to present, but it was also that one that was quite enjoyable because it was very topical at the time. And I think many people were unaware of NVIDIA, their importance in the industry and in the world, and all overnight they became a $1 trillion company. So for me, that was the most enjoyable episode. I'm going to switch gears slightly to talk about, does anyone want to share their favorite episode, or do you want to move on?
No, I just want to say it's turned out to be a great episode. You've dished out some disrespectful awards, and now you're talking about the episode you liked most, which was your episode. You know, it's I'm seeing how this is going. I'm paying attention.
The NVIDIA wasn't my episode.
I'm joking.
I don't
Oh, I thought it was, but you said you hosted.
No. As in, just all of us are hosts
Okay.
on an episode, but I didn't put the agenda together. So yeah,
I
it wasn't.
think-
I wasn't.
think
I
know
wasn't.
who
I
did it.
wasn't.
I don't.
I wasn't tooting my own horn there. No, by no means was I
Oh, I
trying to
thought
do
it
that.
was.
Okay, so Pete, I'll move over to you. So, what did you enjoy most about the podcast this year, 2023?
So yeah, when I was thinking it through, I think there's no one particular episode that stands out to me because I think we're doing a really, really good job as a group in the topics that we're actually covering. I think, you know, based on the feedback that we're receiving via Instagram, via email, people find it really helpful on the insights that we're providing on the current topics and trends. I think if not one episode, but I would say sort of the category, and we've given that award earlier to Shual. I think the interviews that we've carried out this year have just been incredible. Because after every single interview, it stuck with me for a few days in terms of my personal reflections. And I've learned something that it's almost when I'm in the interview, you'll actually forget that you're actually having the podcast. You're just sort of engrossed in what the individual is saying. And I find those to be the most sort of empowering and moving conversations. And so I hope that people get as much from it as what we do. And we almost are like listeners, like everybody else, when we have the interview. So I think the interviews have really profound impact after the session. And I find myself after like 3-4 days still reflecting on what the individual said, and even to a degree where I've actually seen myself reflecting on some of my decision making and how what an individual has said and how can that play into the business or to my family life. So that I think that just speaks to some of the most some of the interviews that we've had and the guests that Shual is bringing on. So I think, you know, one of the things that I wish and I hope is that we continue to sort of drive these interviews into 2024.
Great, thanks, Pete. And looking into 2024, Olu, we all know that the oil and gas stocks are ones that you close dear to your heart. Whether it's a stock market you decide to talk on, what would you say your predictions are for 2024? Of course, this is not investment advice or financial advice. This is just Olu sharing his thoughts and opinions.
It's quite interesting. So just for the listeners, Daniel didn't give us any prep work on this, so this is going to be really interesting. But I think a really good article that I was reading the last few days was talking about the S&P 500 and the returns that we've seen. So what it highlighted was that 7 of the largest stocks in the S&P 500 were actually carrying 92% of the returns of the market. So you've got the magnificent 7 companies, which is Google, Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and also Tesla. And what that was showing is that the majority of the growth we've seen in the S&P 500, which I think is up year to date around 23%, is really driven mainly by those 7 companies, right? So as I go into 2024, my real focus is, one, is it that the rest of those companies are going to continuously grow in the same breadth as those top 7? So we're going to start to see those top 7 sort of carry and start to see an increase in the rest of the companies, which makes me understand that there's still quite a lot of opportunities in the market. I think today I was looking at companies such as, and this is not investment advice, but companies such as Pepsi, and I was seeing year to date is pretty much being flat, right? So even though you hear the S&P 500 is up year over year, there's a lot of companies out there that haven't increased in that same breadth as those top 7. So as I go into 2024, the 2 things I'm really focused on is if we don't see a recession, and everyone keeps talking about a recession, but if we don't see a recession to the extent that people predict, would that then mean that those rest of those companies will start to grow at the same pace as what we see in those top 7? If that's the case, I could look at specific industries. Some of the industries that I've been looking at is, again, not advice, but the banking sector. I think there was a slight correction in some of these banking stocks. Companies such as Pepsi, which gives dividends, I think 3% dividends. That's a company that I can hold for a long period of time. The S&P 500, right? So even though we've seen that 23%, like I mentioned, is carried by the top 7 companies. As the other companies start to grow, the S&P 500 will grow as well. So for me, my main thing is outside of those main tech companies, main AI companies, and NVIDIA, even though NVIDIA does chips, looking at outside of those that I think have already gone up quite high this year, what are the other places that opportunities may lie? And then also in the S&P 500. But I'll be honest with you, I don't really look at outlooks for a year. I'm investing for the long term, 5-10 years. So as long as I continue living below my means, and I did an episode on Christmas Day. If the listeners haven't heard it yet, I really advise you to listen to it. It talked about my financial goals for 2023, if I achieve those goals or not, and what my financial goals for 2024 are. And that episode really just talked about, forget about trying to time the market specifically, but build the right habits. And as I go into next year, I'm just going to continue building the right habits, living below my means, and investing in long-term stocks. So the S&P 500 versus looking at individual stocks. So I hope that answers your question, Daniel. Another part would probably be AI as well. But even with that AI part, I think there's certain elements that might have a bubble. So be careful there. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks, Olu. For someone who wasn't prepared, that was great.
I know that might have felt like for someone not prepared, I've probably spent a lot of time talking. But when your mind is always in the market, you just got so much to talk about, you know.
Olu's going to start on Market Mondays. So no, thanks, Olu, for that. Thank you. And for those who are wondering how 2024 will look, hold on to your hats and you find out in a year's time. But moving to looking at 2024 and the podcast specifically, Sherel's been phenomenal in grabbing and getting guests on this podcast, sharing different experiences and from an array of different sectors and industries. And I think they've provided invaluable content, not just for our listeners, but also for ourselves. So Sherel, who would you say in 2024, what type of thought leaders and who are you looking to get on the podcast so that we can all benefit?
Yeah, so we've got an exciting lineup already. So in the pipeline, we are arranging the schedules for interviews with CEOs of organizations, also in the non-profit or for-profit sector as well. We also want to try and have more diversity in terms of gender. So I think we've had one female guest so far, which is Yvonne Bajela, who's done an amazing episode. So make sure to check that out, where she talked about everything regarding the VC world. But we are also looking to bring on more female leaders to explain to us their journey of transition and becoming a leader and how that experience has been for them. So I think for us, it's plenty more of what we've already seen this year: diverse leaders, inspiring leaders, leaders in the professional sector, leaders in non-profit, leaders also in the entrepreneurial space. So we're really trying to bring a diverse range of leaders to come on and inspire us. So we've got a very exciting 2024 lined up. And actually, Daniel, while you were explaining that, I was just looking at the data for this year. And actually in 2023, and the years and over, we've also increased our downloads by almost 50% in 2023. So I think that's also a great sign and a good data point for us to share with our guests in terms of how we're continuing to growing with your amazing support, our dear listeners. And with that, we can continue to bring lots of good guests on as well for 2024. So not to drop any names at the moment because we are in the scheduling phase, but just trust us, as we've delivered in 2023, we'll continue to deliver for you in the new year ahead. So make sure to follow us on that journey.
Great. So thank you all for your input. Thank you for the 2023 that we've had, and we look forward to 2024 as a 3. As a 4. Maybe I leave.
He's teasing us.
No. We wish you a great 2024, prosperous one in all areas of life. And we thank you for continuing this journey with us. We hope that we continue to provide some insightful and valuable content for you all. So until next week, stay safe, stay well, and enjoy the new year and what it brings.
Take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're